Hello everyone, this video is for educational purpose only, no copyright infringement. This copyright belongs to its rightful owner. Credit goes to respective video music composers and singers. So this is the lecture of BA part first. Today we are going to see the use of past tense for narration. Narration is the second module subtopic from the second module of BA Part First English Compulsory Ability Enhancement Compulsory course, and for the narration we need to learn the use of past tense. So first of all we shall see simple past tense. Simple past tense, we are going to learn the form, meaning and use and pronunciation in this video. How do you form the simple past tense? English has two types of verbs in the past, regular and irregular. We form simple past tense by adding the past tense of the verb, subject plus past tense of the verb. And there are two types of verbs in English, regular verb and irregular verb. Means the verbs which are having a regular form like walked, talked, they are called as regular verbs in the past and irregular verbs in the past. See here the examples of the regular and irregular verbs. Let's read the following list of past tense verbs which are regular and which are irregular. For example, walked, studied, cried, lived. These are the regular past tense forms of the verbs. The verbs which take ed suffix to make the past tense, they are called as regular, and which are not taking suffix ed to make its past tense are called as irregular verbs. Teach, not teached, but it becomes taught. Give, not gived, but it becomes gave. Become, became. Do, did. Means these are the four examples of regular verbs and four examples of irregular past tense verbs. Regular verb means the verbs which take ed suffix to make its past tense are called as regular verbs, and the verbs which do not take ed suffix to make its past tense are called as irregular verbs. So regular verbs are verbs that end with ed. As already I had told you, simple form verbs and past tense verbs. Walk, it will take walked. Study, studied. Cry, cried. Leave, lived. So here these are the regular verbs which end with ed in their past tense. Simple form of verb is walk. In past tense it becomes walked, study becomes studied, cry becomes cried, live becomes lived. So there are certain rules for the use of ed. How we use ed? There are rules for adding ed. Add ed to most verbs. Drop the e and add ed to verbs that end with e. Smile, smiled. When the verbs ends with e, just add d to that verb. You will become, drop the e from smile and it will become smiled. Change the y to I and add ed to verbs that end with a consonant and y carry, study, studied. Means change the y to I. For example, if there is the verb carry, you have to change y into I and then you have to add the suffix ed. Okay, carryचं carried, CARRY आणि वायचं रूपांतर आपण आयमध्ये करायचं आहे आणि मग ईडी प्रत्यय लावायचं आहे. स्टडीचं पण तसंच आहे. दिस इज द रूल फॉर ॲडिंग ईडी टू द वर्ब्स विच एंड विथ वाय. Double the consonant, add ed to verbs that end with one vowel and one consonant. म्हणजे एक ऑवेल आणि एक कॉन्सोनंटनं ज्याचा शेवट होतो, जे शेवटचं व्यंजन असेल आणि त्याच्या अगोदर जर स्वर असेल, ड्रॅग फॉर एक्झाम्पल ड्रॅग शब्द आहे, जी हे शेवटचं कॉन्सोनंट आहे, व्यंजन आहे, ए ऑवेल आहे, अशा परिस्थितीमध्ये तुम्हाला जीचं डबल करावं लागतं, 2 वेळा डबल जी वापरावं लागतं. ईडी प्रत्यय लावताना ड्रॅगड, स्टॉपचं स्टॉप्ड करावं लागतं. जर त्या पीच्या अगोदर ओ नसतं, म्हणजे ऑवेल नसता, स्वर नसता, तर असं करण्याची गरज नाही. देअर इज ऑवेल, ए ऑवेल आहे म्हणून आपण डबल ड्रॅगड केलं. स्टॉपच्या अगोदर ऑवेल असल्यामुळं, आपण पीच्या अगोदर ऑवेल असल्यामुळं स्टॉप्ड असं केलेलं आहे. सो दीज आर द रूल्स फॉर ॲडिंग ईडी. इरेग्युलर वर्ब्स आर वर्ब दॅट डोंट एंड इन ईडी. इरेग्युलर पास्ट वर्ब्स कुणाला म्हणायचं की ज्यांचा भूतकाळ हा ईडी लागून होत नाही, ज्याचा भूतकाळी रूप, ज्या वर्बचं भूतकाळी रूप हे ईडी प्रत्यय लागून होत नाही, इट इज कॉल्ड ॲज इरेग्युलर वर्ब. समटाइम्स विथ इरेग्युलर पास्ट टेन्स वर्ब्स यू हॅव टू चेंज द वॉवेल टू मेक द वर्ब पास्ट टेन्स. आपल्याला बऱ्याचदा त्यातल्या ऑवेल स्वरामध्ये बदल करावा लागतो. जसं बिकमचं बिकेम, ओच्या ऐवजी ए, वी आर युझिंग ऑवेल अ instead of ऑवेल ऑ. गिव, वी आर युझिंग ऑवेल ए in the past tense instead of ऑवेल ई. गिव, गेव. ड्राईव्ह, ड्रोव. फॉरगेट, फॉरगॉट. फॉरगेटचं गेटचं गॉट केलेलं आहे, ड्राईव्हचं ड्रो केलेलं आहे. सो देअर इज चेंज इन द ऑवेल. देअर इज नो ईडी सफिक्स ॲडेड टू these verbs to make its a past tense. So these verbs are called as irregular verbs. Other irregular verbs have a different kind of change. You need to memorize this. तर दुसरे काही इरेग्युलर वर्ब्स आहेत की ते आपल्याला पाठच केले पाहिजेत. हे इरेग्युलर वर्ब फॉर्म्स हे लक्षात ठेवणं गरजेचं आहे. फॉर एक्झाम्पल टीच टर्न्स इन टू टॉट, ब्रिंग टर्न्स इन टू ब्रॉट, लिव्ह टर्न्स इन टू लेफ्ट, हिअर टर्न्स इन टू हर्ड, बाय टर्न्स इन टू बॉट. अशा प्रकारचे हे इरेग्युलर वर्ब फॉर्म्स आहेत. इरेग्युलर पास्ट टेन्स ऑफ द वर्ब नीड टू बी memorized, need to be recited. Why do we use past tense? Why do we use past tense verb? To tell that an action is completed, finished, over, long ago, yesterday, recently. We use this verb past tense. Simple past tense is used. Past tense verbs are used to tell that action is completed, finished, over, when, last week, long ago, yesterday, recently, once upon a time. If you see these words in a sentence, you should understand this is the sentence of past tense. I met him last week. I had been to Delhi long ago. I met my friend yesterday. I did it. I watched the film recently. Once upon a time, I was working there. So, when you see these words, these time adverbials in a sentence, you should know that these are past tense verbs. Pronunciation of regular verbs. The ed ending in English has 3 different sounds. Pronunciation. Here we are going to concentrate how to pronounce the past tense verbs. Walked, talked, jumped. Then played, loved, answered. Walked, talked, jumped. Played, loved, answered. And ed, invited. Here you have to pronounce walked, not walked. T. You have to pronounce ed in walked, talked and jumped as t. Walked, talked, jumped. And you have to pronounce ed as d. In second example, played, loved, answered. Played, loved, answered. T as walked, talked, jumped. Id as in invited, waited, decided. You have to pronounce it as id. With id sounding word there is another syllable. There is another syllable with the id sounding words. So here these are some rules for pronunciation of past tense of verbs. Many times we are tend to pronounce it like walked, talked, jumped, played, loved, answered. So you have to pronounce it in proper way. Walked, talked, jumped, played, loved, answered, invited, waited, decided. So these are the rules for pronunciation of regular verb in past tense. How can you practice past tense verbs? Phonemically, word sorts, bingo, modeling, survey says, Nancy Fraser. So direct instructions per multiple opportunities to practice and is equal to skill master. So you have to get the instructions. There are many activities available to learn past tense. Multiple opportunities to practice. You have to practice every day and then you will be able to practice past tense verbs. So here we have seen some basic information about the past tense, how to make the verbs into past tense, how to make the past form of verbs, regular past verbs and irregular past verbs we have seen here in this video lecture. In next lecture we shall see how to use past tense verbs into sentences. We are going to focus on simple present tense, simple past tense, continuous past tense, perfect past tense and continuous perfect past tense. We are going to study these 4 tenses in the next lecture. So we shall stop here for today. Have a good day. Have a nice day. Stay safe. Stay happy.